Good morning, Tamsin Cochrane. I'm just going to make some shortcrust pastry this morning for you all. So when I'm making shortcrust pastry, especially if it's a savoury dish or one I don't want too sweet, I always go half and half with butter and lard. If you're a vegetarian, then you're going to need to change the lard out for a vegetable based one. So I have my lard here. I'm going to it's half fat to your flour content, so I'm just going to give myself a pound of flour here. This is just plain flour. If you're in Britain, all-purpose flour. If you're in America, and I'll have to find out for Australia. I do not know what they call it. So here we go. Let's get to 16 ounces, 1 pound. Doesn't take long to make fresh pastry, and it's really nice. So I'm going to put that in there. I've already measured out the lard, so that's 4 ounces of lard I'm going to put in there. And then I'm using salted butter, and I know I need 4 ounces, and I can see that this is about 8 ounces. So I am winging it a bit there, but let's we will weigh it. 4.3, I'm running with that. There we go. So I'm going to put that in as well. I know what I haven't done and I meant to do just before I start this. It's a good idea to do it whenever you're cooking, especially a good idea when you're about to make pastry. And that is take off your rings that have stones in them. You do not want those gummed up with pastry. So here we go. Let's just put some butter in there. I am using a sharp knife to go through this because this is cold butter, but I'm going to move to just a normal cutlery, silverware in America, straight away. And the other thing I need to put in here is a pinch of salt. I keep being asked what I mean by a pinch of salt. And we're being really literal. You're literally going to pinch. So take a pinch and put it in there. So if I say pinch, I'm being literal. I want you to do that. So I'm just going to use the knife to chop up the lard and the salted butter. And the reason I'm using a knife and not my fingers at the moment is if I use my fingers, then I'm going to actually heat up the fats, and you don't want that. Then your pastry is actually going to come out really tough, and you would like your pastry to come out more flaky. You want people to be able to eat it. So what we don't want to do is activate the fats melting yet. Not an easy feat in Texas. A lot easier in England. But the beauty in Texas is I've got AC overhead and it's coming down nicely right now. So swings and roundabouts. So I have pretty much got that pastry done. And I'm going to go to my fingers now, which is why I need to take my ring off, apart from food safety. We do not need a contaminant in there. We also don't want to have to try and clean a ring. Very annoying. So when you actually are rubbing in the butter, you should end up with your palms staying basically clean. You're just using your thumb and finger here. So, and we're going quite quickly, mainly because we don't mind. It's a Sunday morning here in Texas, and we're getting on with the day. So yeah, it's actually very enjoyable. I find cooking very relaxing. I really do. So here we go. Let me just mix it all in. Now I did not sieve my flour. Yes, the recipes I'm most probably going to tell you to. It does add air in. There's times I will sieve my flour, and there's times I really don't get too upset about not doing it. At the end of the day, I am cooking for a family. This is my own. It's going to be an apple pie later, actually. My own family, and I'm all about less washing up, maybe, quickness, good flavour, nice texture, but I don't get too hung up on needing to sieve everything. No. I was making a sponge cake. Sponge cake. That's English, so in America that's a white cake, or a chocolate cake, or a red velvet cake. Those are all sponge cakes if you are in Britain. I will try and remember to move words back and forth. So here we go. I most probably could have chopped some of this butter and lard a little bit smaller. There are some bigger bits down there, but they're all mixing in quite nicely now. The recipe for this will go up on my website today, so that's where you'll find it, Shortcrust Pastry, which is the pastry you use, generally speaking, for your pies, your tarts, your quiches. It's Shortcrust Pastry. I use this recipe for empanadas as well at Christmas, so I do not buy the stuff in the store, but I know it's there and it is convenient. But do you know what, this doesn't take long and it is so much better for you. Next to no ingredients in this. Right, so we are going to now just add some cold water, which I don't have ready. So let me sort that out and mix it all together for you and show you. Well, I'll try and show you now by tilting the bowl. If I tilt the bowl, hopefully you can see it's much thicker, chunkier, sort of breadcrumbs right now, which is what we want. So I am just going to take water from my fridge because that is going to be nice and cool. And that should be enough. So at this point I'm going to add water gradually. There is no rhyme or reason on how much water I need in here. Certainly, I have a friend who lives in Colorado. I have a couple of friends in Colorado. You've got an altitude problem there. So you need to add more liquid. It's getting the texture. Learn the texture, how something should feel. And it doesn't matter where you are. So you can then cook at high altitude because you will feel that it needs much more water in than it does here in Austin, Texas. I've learned that because I've cooked there. Just know how things should feel, look, and believe in yourself. Enjoy cooking. So much fun. You can see I've gone back to the knife. I didn't mention that, sorry. But I don't want to use my hands. I want to keep the heat away from it again now. So I will be putting my hands back in there shortly, just to bind the last bit together. So I can see it's coming together very nicely. I'm going to add a little bit more water. And as you can see, this is a pound of flour. Of course, this is, oh, it isn't just, I must probably had about 6 ounces of water in there, and I've still got plenty in there, so I will not be using much of that at all. So as a guide, you're looking at maybe 3-4 ounces, but this is, on my recipe it's going to say water to mix. Okay, so if I tilt the bowl up now, you can see I'm literally just bringing it all together. And what I want to happen is everything in the bowl, nice and quickly, not too many movements, because I do not want my hands to warm this up. Can you see the bowl? It's all coming together and the bowl is being left beautifully and clean. And that's all we want. Then we know it's not too sticky. Can you see it's not? I can take those bits off my hand. My hands are fine. The bowl is clean. My pastry is made. And all I'm going to do now is put that into some cling film. That is what we call it in England. So saran wrap, seal tight. There you go. I can look at food wrap and put it in the fridge now. I just want to make sure it is chilled before I actually roll it out and make my apple pie a bit later. Thank you very much for watching. Do go to my website